Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me today with Questions with the Queen. Guess what? It is the SummerSlam edition. So yay! One of the biggest parties of the summer. I'd like to start out with thanking my husband, who is the cameraman, as well as the question man. Thank you, Steve.
What's up?
But as you can clearly see, I also want to have SummerSlam birthdays this weekend. We're going to start with my baby sister, Hayleigh. Happy birthday, Hayleigh! Also, as you can clearly see on my table, I have an Uso hat. It's Jimmy and Jay's birthday. And the rightful United States champion, Apollo Crews. But let's not forget Eric from the Viking Raiders. Happy birthday to all of you gentlemen, as well as you, Hayleigh. So let's go ahead and roll into the questions, shall we, Steve?
Well, as you mentioned, it is a SummerSlam edition show, biggest party of the summer, as you brought up. Of course, all the questions come in from our followers. If you have questions, we definitely want you guys to drop them in the chat and make sure you message them over to us. That way we can answer them on not just this show, but on future shows as well. First one coming in, have you ever had an opportunity to attend a SummerSlam live?
Goodness, no, but I would so love to. And I know knowing Steve, he would too, because that is one of the big four we have not attended. So hopefully in the future, crossing our fingers, we can. Let's get this COVID thing over and go for it.
She's absolutely right. I do definitely want to attend one before we go. So you mentioned earlier that SummerSlam is the biggest party of the summer. What is it about SummerSlam that gets you excited over, let's say, any other pay-per-view that we've seen in the last couple of weeks, such as like Extreme Rules or, Great American Bash or something like that?
Well, first of all, it's the summer, so everybody looks forward to the summer. I look forward to what type of matches they're going to have. Like we said, it is the second biggest show compared to WrestleMania, so obviously if it's the second biggest show compared to WrestleMania, then you know they're going to do something huge or something big with each and every match. Plus the music is great, in case you hadn't noticed.
Oh yeah, we can't go without, of course, talking about Wine Up by Cat DeLuna a couple of years ago.
By the way, I was listening to that. It came across my playlist. Funny you should even say that. It came across my playlist yesterday.
If you haven't listened to it, look it up on YouTube, Spotify, or whatever. It's a great song.
Yes,
it was one of the themes a couple of years ago.
Yes, it was, and I still listen to it today.
So one question we've got, one of the matches that's going to be taking place tomorrow, actually it'll be part of two matches, is Asuka getting a shot at both women's championships, the Raw title against Sasha Banks and the SmackDown title against Bayley. Do you think that WWE made the right or wrong choice by allowing Asuka to have two matches when you have a roster full of women that are equally as deserving sitting in the back?
I believe they had that Royal Rumble. And from what I got from what Sasha was saying, I think in like an off-putting interview or an off-putting comment, she said that Asuka was not officially part of the match, so for her to find her way in, I feel like it was kind of, it wasn't needed when you have a locker room full of women over three brands who could have actually been put in that position. Basically, a SummerSlam competitor can be put in that position, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens later tonight.
Okay, and following up on that question, if Asuka was to be removed from one of the two matches, just hypothetically, which one should she be removed from, and who should be the person replacing her?
I feel like she should be removed from the SmackDown, and I would like to see my girl Naomi go for it. We if you looked at SmackDown last night, we clearly saw where Naomi beat Bayley. No offense, Savannah, but yeah, Naomi. Simple.
Okay. Think the glow belt needs to find its way back?
Yes! Yes!
It's okay to be excited. It's your show.
Yes!
So, of course, you can't sit here and talk about SummerSlam without mentioning one particular competitor, and that is Brock Lesnar. For the first time in 7 years, Brock Lesnar will not be part of the main event of SummerSlam. In fact, at least as of this taping, there is no sign that Brock is going to appear in any form or fashion. Despite your personal feelings on Brock, the fact is he brings a different type of challenge at a pay-per-view because you know that when he's there, he's going to compete in big matches. What is it about him being there that brings more appeal and more viewers towards SummerSlam, as well as any other pay-per-view he attends at?
Again, my feelings aren't going to be hurt because he's not here, but the appeal for me is that he reminds me of when Baron Corbin could actually get things done in under a minute. Brock to me has a ground and pound. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna whoop you. I'm gonna get it done. But the appeal for Brock to me is not Brock himself. It's his mouthpiece, Paul Heyman, who Steven said he wanted his eulogy for some reason. But it is what it is. But it's not Brock that gives me the appeal. It's Paul Heyman who's his mouthpiece. So there's no appeal to me about Brock.
Okay. One question we've got here that's kind of sliding slightly away from the SummerSlam theme. It's actually speaking about the weekend in general.
Okay.
And that is, of course, with every SummerSlam also usually comes a takeover as well, which, of course, we have this weekend as well with TakeOver 30. Do you feel that the takeover events that we see every one of these double pay-per-view weekends makes the superstars on the main roster really have to push SummerSlam, or do you feel that they're two separate entities and both just kind of go on their own?
I feel like they are two separate entities, two separate brands, and it's been stated over this last year that, NXT always pushes, even if it's not a pay-per-view, they always push to make sure the show is the best. I feel like the competitors on any other pay-per-view or show, I believe they feel like, okay, if NXT is doing so well, we need to step up our game. So to answer your question, I do think that NXT pushes the other brands to want to step up to make sure they give their all, because that's what NXT does.
Every takeover tends to be have some type of huge historic moment, so I can agree with that SummerSlam has to really push itself. So we obviously have had an opportunity for several weeks to see the SummerSlam card at this point. Mm-hmm. A number of championship matches, a number of great rivalry matches, including one match that got announced on SmackDown that someone's career with WWE is going to end.
Oh my goodness.
So that's the match that's actually being asked about right now, the match between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. We can't give away our winner because that's a top rope spoilers moment, but why do you think that this match has now gone away from the hair versus hair and has now headed towards the stipulation of the loser leaves WWE?
I don't like doing dirt sheets. Me and Steve have stated that here on our show. But if you have not been living under a rock, you have clearly heard the things that are going on with Sonya. I believe, and I want to take the time to say, Sonya, I hope everything goes well. I'm praying for you. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm sending you good vibes. But I feel like with everything that's going on, as much as I love both competitors, and I really do, when they were Fire and Desire, I believe that is why the stipulation was made, because I believe we all kind of see it coming, even though after she's been pushed, as my husband said, and he's been saying it for the whole entire weekend, she's been pushed so hard, and she's finally got to have her chance and have her moments, and I feel like it's being taken away, more or less. So.
And for those who are not aware, not only was Sonya part of this, but the reports coming out that Mandy was actually at her house at the time as well, mm-hmm. that all the stuff went down. So, I will kind of follow up on that comment of wishing Sonya the absolute best, because the expectation with this being the stipulation is the winner's kind of maybe been given away, but at the same time it's being done because this is bigger than wrestling, this is bigger than WWE, so... hey, this is what we do. We don't filter out the questions here. If you want to know an answer, we'll give it to you. Mm-hmm. So let's move back on to something that's maybe a little bit more more high spirited and everything else. We look at all the different champions that are going in. You've got Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Sasha Banks, Bayley, mm-hmm. Apollo Crews, and the Street Profits that will be defending their championships at SummerSlam. Of those champions, which one is in the most danger of losing their championship?
I have to say the Street Profits. I have a feeling like everything that they've been through and everything that they've gone through with Garza and Andrade, and then on top of that having Montez poisoned by Zelina, and it was proven. I feel like they are in the most danger. I feel like unless they have Bianca in their corner, I feel like that's what's going to happen, which in my opinion, I feel like they need to have her in their corner because Zelina is going to always be in Andrade and Garza's corner.
So without giving away your pick, you think that the Street Profits are in the most trouble or in the most danger of losing their title?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And it's nothing against them, but that's just my opinion.
Gotcha. We've got time for a couple more here. Out of the storylines that have been written into SummerSlam going into this year, when it comes to the segments in the ring as well as the video packages, which one of the matches have you gotten the most excited for?
Oh gosh, man. I was very excited about the hair versus hair match because I wanted to see who was going to lose and who was going to have to shave all her hair. But now it's more like I'm excited for the Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, because you have a legend killer and then you have a future legend. So to have those two, and the fact that they're both, they've been, chatting back and forth and spewing comments back and forth, and the fact that Randy Orton has done, his damage, and Drew said he's going to give him payback for that. I feel like that's the match right there that I'm most excited for.
And of course, the one you'll most likely have to wait until the end in order to be able
I
to
know.
enjoy, because it's likely main eventing.
Oh my gosh, I know. Y'all just, I don't even understand. Keep going.
It is what it is. We've got time for a few more here. On SmackDown earlier this weekend, we saw the premiere of the Thunderdome. Do you believe that the Thunderdome is going to bring anything new or exciting to SummerSlam, giving really its first real chance to be out there in a major event?
First, to whoever thought of that, that is a brilliant idea to make sure you have the arena packed. You have the superstars who can clearly see everybody. And I think that's the most creative thing. To whoever thought of it, thank you. I feel like it's going to give SummerSlam, as well as it did SmackDown, it's going to give it a whole new feel. Like, people are actually in the arena watching, even though we're sitting in our homes in a particular room. So, yeah, that was just creative. I just can't even... There's not enough that can be said about that idea, in my opinion.
Do you feel that... how much involvement do you feel Retribution is going to have at SummerSlam? Do you think that might be part of the reason why you're getting a Payback pay-per-view so soon after SummerSlam the following week?
Retribution has been a pain in the butt to every superstar across every brand, except for NXT, I'm now noticing. But I feel like they will play a role at some point. But we saw how the SmackDown roster came together and was able to fight them off. But I still think they're going to be a major pain to everybody. So I think they could play a part tonight. Sorry, I don't know. My days are all mixed up. Sorry, you guys.
It's okay. We got time for one more here before we wrap things up. Without giving away a selection of a pick, give us one thing you expect to see at SummerSlam.
Like I've already stated, we have a locker room full of women who are deserving. I feel like at some point, I believe Bayley, being who she is, after losing to Naomi, if you hadn't seen SmackDown, go ahead and take a look. I believe Bayley is going to lay Asuka out because of the frustration that she's feeling. And I think someone's going to fill that void. And like, I'm crossing my fingers, I'm hoping it's my girl Naomi. But if it's not, I want it to be some other superstar through the three rosters who is deserving. So I feel like Asuka could get laid out by Bayley.
Nice little twist there. You think Asuka gets laid out, before her match, and they got to find someone else to step in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's certainly one way to potentially look at it, but it would certainly be a swerve. All right, well, we got about a minute and a half before time here. The floor is yours. Let's get us excited for SummerSlam.
Oh gosh, it's the biggest party of the summer. Go listen to some summer music. Go back and listen to all the SummerSlam themes. Again, to me and Steven, the best one would be Cat DeLuna, Wine Up. Also, get your food, get your people, put them on Zoom. If you don't have them in person, put them on Zoom. Do what you got to do. Enjoy the match. Oh, one more thing. I will be doing a reaction video for one of the matches, but I want to know, what match would you like to see me do a reaction video for? Whatever match gets the most views will be the one that I do. So with that being said, I'm going to let y'all go on about your day. Have a good day. I love you. And I'm about to go have some more coffee. Peace out, you guys.